Hello, namaste everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is for Pisces individuals, and I'm extremely sorry. I just forgot to make the analysis for the Pisces ones. So I was just making the playlist of all those Rahu and Ketu transits video, and I realized that I started with Aquarius and then ended up at Aries and absolutely forgot about Pisces, my dear ones. So let's get started with how Rahu and Ketu transit for you people is going to affect you when Rahu has entered your Aquarius sign in the 12th house and Ketu is in your 6th house. So this particular transit is an important one. So be with me, right? We will talk about it. Before that, don't forget to subscribe my channel and also hit the bell icon below so that you get regular updates. Also, for those who want to have or wish to have their personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the readings and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. And under the courses section, you can sign up if you wish to learn astrology from me. Okay, so Rahu and Ketu transit. First of all, it's extremely important transit. It comes in for 18 months, and it is important because it makes you dive into loop. It makes you, go back and forth between two houses for those 18 months. So it's like you're fulfilling your karma because these two are the karmic planets. You're fulfilling your karma related to those two houses for those 18 months. So you experience transformation. Wherever Rahu is, you experience transformation so as to grow ultimately from that house. And where Ketu is, you've experienced transformation like destruction, transformation, which leads to your spiritual growth or your understanding of life, which comes with difficulty and obstacles, but it makes you deal with, the wisdom of life. So for you people, for Pisces individuals, you are having the peak phase of your Sarasati. Then you are having the Saturn transit, of course, because of the Sarasati as well. And then you have Rahu's transit, 12th from the Saturn, 12th from maybe your moon or maybe your ascendant. So definitely this is a typical placement to have. This is it is what it is. Let's talk about it. So 12th house is the house of your subconscious mind, and I think I've been telling all the time since the past few months all the things about the sign of Pisces and also the 12th house. It's your subconscious mind. It's the way you think, whether you think positive or you think negative. What is your opinions? What is your belief system along with the 9th house? And it is also the house of your private space, your bed pleasures, your expenditures, your sleep. So when Rahu comes into the 12th house, first thing it activates is it makes you disturbed. It makes you restless. You think all the time. You overthink even the slightest things in life. You start overthinking. You start doing certain things like, you start obsessing over certain things. You start making unnecessary expenditure also. Rahu in the 12th house is one of the moksha houses. It also takes you away from your homeland. It makes you travel. It makes you go to, what do we call it? Isolated places, places near to nature, near to water. And in case of Aquarius, it can even make you go to very places which are related to science, something related to scientific nature or something related to very high tech, high in technology kind of, um, mm, places. I don't know what happens with my talking. Okay. So Rahu coming into the 12th house, it definitely disturbs one's sleeps. It makes a person disturbed because there is a lot of stress that they have to deal with. This stress is not that something is coming into your life all of a sudden and you are just stressful. It could be as little things as possible, and still you feel the stress, you feel the burden of it. And opposite to it comes Ketu in your sixth house. Ketu coming into the sixth house gives you karma with your relatives, with your distant relatives, your uncles and aunts, your maternal side of the family specifically, or it makes you deal with conflicts, obstacles, and of course, legal matters as well. Whenever I see a person diving into this axis, the 12th and the 6th axis, I know they have to budge into legalities. They have to, file a visa, they have to file for PR, they have to just do that, filing legalities, they have to file for debts, they have to file for bank loans. So something like this has to be done on your end. And at the same time, this could even be a timeline where you'll have to take up a loan to start a business. And be very careful of your investments, because when Rahu is in the 12th house, it also makes you have either a huge expenditure and also a huge amount of loss, or a huge expenditure, right? So that's why it's very important for you to have a very refined, a very careful decision with your spendings. Okay, so let's just dive into the chart first so that I can explain as per the houses better. Okay, so here we have Pisces. Here we are going to have Ketu for you people, and we are going to have Rahu here. So I did talk about Rahu coming into the 12th house. It makes you obsessive. And one thing I would address here, which can relate to some individuals, but which may not relate to many, that is that you might encounter an affair-like situation in your life with a married person. Basically, Rahu, when goes into the 12th house, and please do not relate it to be as the natal placement. No, the natal placement of Rahu would not do this thing, right? It might do it when it transits, Rahu transits over Rahu, or Saturn transits over Rahu. But originally, with this transit, this can give you a relationship, a kind of illegitimate relationship with a married woman or a married man. So be very careful of being lured by any one of them, because the simple logic is Rahu going into the 12th house makes you curious about the 12th house. It makes you curious about doing something which is out of the box, doing something which is out of the societal norms. So you would find your curiosity to know about foreign culture. You would find your curiosity to know about foreign people, people who are, people you meet suddenly. You feel curious to interact with them, and especially for those who are elder to you. So you might encounter such a scenario, and also it makes you obsessive towards the 12th house matters, which could be intoxication, which is bed pleasures, which is what feels you, high on that, what do we call it, which makes you feel you makes which makes you feel high, basically. That's what this Rahu creates. So there definitely you have to be careful of addictions, you have to be careful of obsessions, obsessive behaviors, you have to be careful of your anger and aggression at the same time. And of course, this is the house of your spending. So that is the reason you start spending a lot. Also, you start, doing spending just so as to pamper yourself, or whatsoever reason you can do it. But that depends on where your natal Saturn is placed and how is the condition of your moon. And then when Ketu is coming into the sixth house is the house of your distant relatives, right? It is the house of your workspace, it is the house of your colleagues. So, what happens? First, you attach towards the sixth house matters. You start working a lot. You start connecting yourself with the people at your workspace. You start doing, interacting with people, doing things. Just 1 second. Yeah, so this Ketu basically coming into the sixth house, it basically first attaches you with the matters of sixth house. You would want to settle up your routine, you would want to take care of your health, you would want to have a better nutrition, you would want to visit the gym, to get better with your body, with your physique. You also connect with your relatives, but then you'll have to deal with all the disruption that happens in the sixth house. You face problems within your job situation. This basically happens because Ketu wants you to know and deal with a different set of behavior when it's about organizing. You will feel unappreciated at your workspace or through your colleagues. That is where your relationship with your colleagues suffer, because you start feeling that yes, I'm not being appreciated, I'm not being respected. Because of this, you feel that where is my ego, where is my self confidence? You doubt yourself because of your interactions with your colleagues and within your workspace. That's why, as a result, the maleficness or the destruction and the transformative behavior of Ketu comes in. That's why transformation happens with your relationship with your colleagues, at your workspace, all together in your workspace, as in your job or in your business. And this also makes you deal with some past conflicts, either past conflicts of the family or past conflicts of the like of like some legal conflict, some legal filings that you have. Suppose you have taken a loan back then, back 2 years, 5 years back, and now you have to address the issues with it because now you are unable to pay it, or you are just completely done with the loan and you are now just filing the NOC. So something, it just simply shows that you have to just pay off karma, you have to do certain things, you have to be involved into these two houses. Okay, so now the fifth aspect of Rahu. So fifth aspect of Rahu from the 12th house is going to be on the fourth house, right? So it is going to be on the sign of Gemini. Having fifth house on the sign of Gemini in the fourth house means that during this time, you learn, you learn about your own emotions, and you become vulnerable with your emotions. You know, for example, you encounter such a situation in life when you feel vulnerable with your emotions, and that is the point when you understand that emotionally, this is something that I need, this is something that I am. So, Rahu's fifth aspect on the fourth house, first of all, makes you research. It makes you study all the subjects like astrology, occult sciences, or anything that basically gives you the piece of information that you require, the things you're searching for, the answers you're searching for. It also, sorry, it also takes you away from your homeland, and you basically learn about how important your home, your mother was to you or is to you. That is something that it brings. Rahu's fifth aspect is also one of the Purva Punya Bhava. But it's like that you first pay off karma with a difficult situation so as to get the good karmas of your past life. So you will be able to create, this is the strongest placement for a person to create their own comforts. This is one of the strongest placements for that. So you are going to learn about what you feel comfortable with. Either it's a relationship, or it's something of luxury, or it's a home, or it's a place. You learn about it and you start researching on it, you start looking forward, you become curious about it, you become curious about learning people's psychology, about your own psychology, your own emotional connections. So this period is all about you learning about the fourth house matters. Okay, so that is what it shows, and it also makes a person famous within their homeland. Now, whether it is famous or it is infamous, that depends on how your planetary placements are. But at the same time, we also have Jupiter in your fourth house. So, definitely, there's either a shift of home or there's an expansion in your home. There's a renovation or something that you are doing for with the structure of your home. Okay, and for that you will use technology. For that you will use something like which is updated technology, or you will use a middleman as well. Gemini is also the middlemen, like architectures, interior designers, right? So something like this is also there. And for many people, for especially females, this could even initiate their pregnancy stage, like the very early stage of their pregnancy, because both the alignments of Jupiter and Rahu shows that you have to visit hospitals, you have to visit certain those places, like you have to visit clinics, you have to visit the ultrasound clinics and all of that, hospitals. So that can make you pregnant as well, being a woman. Okay, so the ninth aspect. So the ninth aspect is going to go in the eighth house. Rahu aspecting into the onto the eighth house with ninth aspect means you start rebelling within your marriage, or you start having some secrets with your beliefs, secrets with your opinions, and also with your choices. You start rebelling not just within your marriage but with your in-laws. There's something very unusual, very abrupt or sudden that might take place in the family, in your in-law family. Or it could even be your relationship with them. But basically, it's not Rahu's aspect or Rahu in the seventh house which creates cheating in marriage. It's rather eighth house. Rahu in the eighth house which does that. That is also one topic we can talk about. Okay, because seventh house is what is being projected as your relationships. Seventh house is what is being projected as a part of your partner's personality. Eighth house is your married life. Eighth house, how this life basically turns around, how this life goes on. So Rahu's maleficness in the eighth house actually creates that. Okay, so now, of course, Rahu's ninth aspect in the eighth house again makes you learn, makes you go into research, and also makes you dive into spiritual learning, rather spiritual research like astrology, occult, any sort of such things. And it also makes you dive into shares, speculations, right? Now, the fifth aspect of Ketu is going to be on your 10th house on the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is one of the highly aspected sign this year and activated sign this year. So when Ketu is giving its fifth aspect on the 10th house, this means that you now are going to use a very creative approach towards your career. You would want to take some time off to either learn something or to just understand your own psychology and your own learning with your career or your own creativity with your career. Like, for example, maybe you guys think that I need to learn a specific subject so as to, first take some time off, learn a specific subject and get back to my work. That is a kind of situation. Or this could even mean that you are trying to give a competitive exam. And if you are the one who is trying to give a competitive exam, and if this is your second or third attempt, you will be able to fulfill it. But trust me, you will require your utmost confidence and your utmost courage to basically get through with this exam. This exam might not go in the first go, but during this 18 months duration, it is going to be up and down for you, where you will understand that where you are lacking, how you're becoming it will be like the journey that you're confident for your exam, but it didn't go through. Then you become underconfident, you challenge your own confidence, you go through that journey, and then you go and present yourself and give a tight competition within your competitive exams. And this is the same scenario that you would experience in your life in general and also at your workspace, in your career. Okay, so that's what the fifth aspect of Ketu would do, but this will give you extremely good research skills and also ability to creatively express yourself, but rather not by just going up front and talking about it, but doing that in the form of some product, like doing something like your creativity is going to come out through your skills, through what you're doing. And of course, this will make you learn a very, very strong lesson related to the society, related to your own authority and your career. Okay, this could even make you take a gap from your career for some time. This could be that you want to start something else, you want to follow your passion, or you just simply have been, not going through a good time in your career. Now you're just taking some time off, or you're forced to take some time off. That all of that depends on what your planetary placements are, right? So now the ninth aspect of Ketu is going to be on your second house. You will see howsoever problems you're facing right now with your career, with your competitive exams, with your life in general, but you will see that you are still fortunate when it comes to your finances. This is also a time when you would want your family to either help you, or you will be the one helping anyone within your family when it comes to finances. Ketu's, the kind of alignments I see, it could even initiate property division. I won't say property dispute here, but property division, financial division, finances. You are putting numbers on those finances, you're putting numbers on the properties, now that this is mine, this is my brother's, this is my sister's, all of that stuff. This also detaches you from the family. This makes you go into a very competitive zone with the family. And one thing I would say, if any one of you is watching this video because Pisces is maybe the sign of your daughter or your son or your children in general, or anyone that you love, just understand these people are them, going with their within battles. They're dealing with their internal battles right now, right? So all they would need is to receive support from you because they're already struggling with certain things in their life. So Ketu's ninth aspect on the second house also makes you go through a war or fight like situation with a family or in the family life. This basically, the detachment that comes in with Ketu comes here because there's something that has to be addressed. There's some maybe generational trauma that has been carried forward, or there was complications in the relationships but no one talked about. So that's why you will have to deal with this uprooting situation. And this is going to be one of a lesson for you because because this is the ninth aspect, right? So overall, this Rahu and Ketu, not just it is affecting the houses of your expenditure, debts, litigation, your workplace, your career, your subconscious mind. But along with that, the reasons that are out of this, this axis, why problems are going are why are you going to face the problems related to these two houses? Because the reasons would be these aspects. Reasons would be what is in the surroundings. Okay, so now let's quickly go over the planets. For example, you have Sun. If you have Sun, suppose in your sixth house, it is the Lord of the sixth house itself, and Ketu comes over it. This is the time you refine your ego. This is the time you feel that you are not being appreciated within your workspace and with your work. So you start picking on fight, you start picking on battles with people, or in the workspace, just the scenario happens this way that you are the one who's getting blamed for everything, even though you're working back, just appropriately, you're trying to do all the hard work, but you are losing your temper here. Definitely, this Ketu is going to make you lose your temper. This Ketu is basically giving that Grahan to Sun. It is basically giving that, it is basically cutting your ego into half. It is cutting your personality into half. So that's why you will feel that you're also being targeted by maybe the authorities, or maybe you're not gelling in well with the authorities. This would even make you take some careful steps with your digestive system and with your health in general. And you will also have to take care of your eyes, your eyesight. If Sun is in the 12th house and Rahu comes over it, now this Rahu is afflicting the Sun. This is making that Grahan with Sun. It is giving you amplification of your ego. First of all, Sun in the 12th house gives you huge reactions. You suddenly get angry, you suddenly get that aggression, and you suddenly just calm down as well. But you feel irritated when Sun is in the 12th house. You can be easily irritated. When Rahu comes over with it, oh my God, you're just a fireball roaming around. It's just the matter of just pinching you, and you are like, oh, who did that to me? So that is something it does, but definitely this will work extremely well for innovative and innovations that you can do with your knowledge, with your creative skills, with your creativity. Right? Sun, being your sixth lord, is in the 12th house. And then Rahu comes over it. That means you'll have to deal with certain situations within your relatives or your extended families. And this would also make you take some huge expenditure because of either a relative or your family. Or even this can give you gastric issues. And like, for example, you got gastroenteritis. I'm just giving an example. You got gastroenteritis, and that, of course, has to be dealt with in the hospitals. Right? So you might have to go visit the hospitals for that. But this definitely makes you go really, really high on your ego. This can give you opportunities, greater opportunities in the foreign lands. But at the same time, this makes your ego and pride go way higher, which you must have control on. And for this particular individual, they could even have some secretive activities happening around within their life. Okay, but just be careful of addiction issues. Trust me, whenever Rahu transits your moksha houses, especially your 8th and the 12th, be aware of your addiction issues. Also the 4th house. Addiction, you can, because that is water. Nobody knows the depth of water. And water is related to addiction. That is soma. right? Now, while we're talking about Soma, let's get to the Soma, Moon. If Moon is in the sixth house, it is the lord of your fifth house coming into the sixth house. Definitely, this is a situation where you will feel heartbroken over a romantic encounter or a love situation. This could even be a detachment from your maternal side of the family, or detachment of your own motherly nature, your own emotions, your own motherly nature, your own giving the benefit of the doubt to other people has actually landed you into this heartbreak zone and these complications you're feeling with emotions. But definitely, having Rahu and Ketu coming over Moon, they transform your emotional attachments, the way you interact emotionally, the way you connect emotionally. It changes it all, it transforms it all big time. Okay, so it changes the way you interact with people, it changes the way you connect with people emotionally. With Ketu in the sixth house, you definitely have to deal with a certain obstacle in your life, certain dispute in your life. That could be a dispute within your marriage, that could be a dispute within your relationships that you'll have to deal with. And that is going to be the catalyst of you to understand that how I have to address my problems, because Leos do not know how to do that. They don't know how to address their problems. They'll be suffering on the inside, but their ego, their pride is so high that they don't know how to address it. So now the wisdom for you is to know how you need to address it, right? Now, having Moon in the 12th house, being the fifth lord, this is a loss like situation. This is either a loss that you feel in love, or you feel generally in life because of a person, because of even one-sided love encounter, I would say. This is an obsessive time for you. You will feel obsessed about knowing something which is way beyond our understanding, like trying to know about ghosts, trying to know about planets, astrology, trying to know about spirits. So you'll scientifically actually get into all of that stuff and try to know about all of those things. This is something that it shows, right? So basically, this Rahu is going to make you overblown with your emotions. Like your pot, your vessel of emotions is going to just now overflow, just like Aquarius, just like the sign of Aquarius, the water bearer. Now you're just tired of being in your own space. You want to explore more about it. You definitely would have a lot of secrets in this time. You will do a lot of things that you will keep hidden from the others. It also makes you dive into crypto, but be careful, be very careful. I wouldn't suggest you guys to go for crypto at all, considering the fact that you also have Saturn in your first house. This moon can, even if having moon in the 12th and Rahu over it, can make you travel at a distance, because that would be the requirement of the situation. Okay. Next, we have Jupiter. So if suppose you have Jupiter in the, sorry, if you have Jupiter in the sixth house, that is the lord of your 10th house and your first house, and you have Ketu over it. See, Ketu can do two things. Either it makes you dive into your creative self, it wants you to research about it and take it out as your research and work on your skill, present it in your career. Or it makes you have obstacles within your career, and it makes you take your time off or be dissatisfied with your work. Most of all, both the things happen. But the second one is actually the catalyst of the first to happen. But having Jupiter in the sign of Leo in the sixth house Ketu coming over it. Definitely a significant thing happening in your relatives, in your extended family. If you are a person living in a joint family, someone in your family, like someone elderly in your family, might leave, because of whom you will be, and you will be, you will have that burden of taking up the responsibility, even though you are not the immediate person who's going to be responsible for the management of the family now, or management of the family's wealth now. But you will feel that burden. You might not be immediately there, but you will be a part of it. Jupiter in the sign of Leo talks about lineage. And whenever whenever it faces transits, it makes something happen in the lineage. And I always have been saying, whenever Jupiter Mahadasha is there, souls depart, souls go away, elderly ones go away. So having that in Leo, that means you'll have to deal with certain traditions of your ancestors. And how do you do that? When certain rituals have to be done. And especially for this individual, you must dan to your pitris. You must do the donations to your pitris, or by the name of your pitris. But definitely this gives you wisdom of what life is about, what people are about, by making you learn the deceptive side of life, by making you learn that who is yours, who is not yours, by making you learn the wisdom of life. Okay, now if this Jupiter is in the 12th house, this is the first and the 10th lord going into the 12th house, this can extremely be different. It can give you opportunities related to overseas. It can give you opportunities to go abroad, maybe for training program related to your career, or it can make you learn something which is unusual, which is very much aligned with nowadays technology, with updated technology. Okay, so something like this you may experience with Jupiter in the 12th house and Rahu coming over it. But of course, Jupiter is the planet of your belief system. It is the planet of it is a guru, it is your guidance. Having Rahu coming over it, be careful of from whom you're being guided. Even suppose you go away from your homeland, you go to overseas, just be careful whom you trust. Or if you are aligning spiritually, just know whom you should trust with your spiritual matters as well. Do not go into superstitions. This is one of the alignments which can actually make you go into superstitions, but do not fall for that. That is otherwise going to make you have huge expenditure and huge losses. Next, we have Venus. Venus in the 6th house, Ketu coming over it. Maybe a divorce that was going on and now it gets finalized. Or it could even initiate a divorce for you. If you're married, if you're unmarried, it could give you a heartbreak situation. And most of all, either this happens with a person who is at your workspace, or it is that because of work, or because of you having someone at work, you're now getting disturbances within your family life, within your marriage. Now, Venus is the lord of the 3rd house, and it is the lord of the 8th house. That means secretive activities are coming to your workspace. In your daily life, you are either doing something secretly, like for example, some people do creativity secretly in their work life. Maybe their work is about, nowadays, what is it? Content creation. They do that in secrecy. Maybe they don't let their parents know, or anything like that could happen. But simply, there's some secretive things that are happening within your workspace, and which could even have a romantic angle to it. And now, because of Ketu coming over it, either it's a breakup or it's a detachment that you have been caught now. Or it simply means for the people who are unmarried, who are not in a relationship, you will reminisce about your past conflicts with love. You might even encounter with your past romantic partners with whom you have had conflicts. And if you have existing partners, you can experience very complicated situations or time period in love. So my daughter is up. Just give me 1 minute. So Venus, if is in the 12th house, being the lord of the third and the eighth house. That means you are having sexual encounters with foreign, foreign, or a person from different culture, or a foreigner altogether. Maybe you're having a relationship online, but this is the time when you feel that the urge to have unionship, to have relationship, and especially because you're experiencing high libido. This could even be towards the other extreme for some people. Other extreme is spirituality. But simply because of Rahu and Ketu's transit over your Venus, whether it is Ketu, whether it is Rahu, this is there to change the way you are in love, the way you react, you are in your relationships. And if you want to understand what this change is about, look in what sign your Venus is in the D9 chart. That is where you're heading, that is where you're transforming into. So having Venus in the 12th house, Rahu coming over it, it's a definite sign of having a sexual relationship. It can even be with a married man or a married woman, being the third and the eighth lord. But it will give you a very enjoyable time. You will be wanting to travel. You will be actually traveling for leisure. You will be traveling for work and anything. It's just lots of travel, lots of sex, and lots of enjoyment. But at the same time, Rahu coming over Venus in the sign of Aquarius, the sign of Saturn. It also creates a hole within yourself. It creates that shallowness within yourself. So, till the time the energy of Rahu is high on your Venus, you will be like, I am the stud, I am the queen, I'm going to enjoy it all. But when the energy starts diminishing, you'll go into that repenting time. You'll come into that zone where you'll start thinking that was this had I mean this had to happen. Why did this happen? So you will start going on the other side. You'll start becoming obsessive upon this thing. Then the teary eyes would come in, that why I did this, why I was like this, I did a mistake, things like this. But of course, for some people this is valid, for some this is not. That is based on where your placements, where your Saturn is, and whether or not there is any other planet conjunct with it. Okay, so next we have Mars. So if Mars is in your sixth house, definitely get your health in check. I won't lie about it. It can give you surgery. It can give you either a minor surgery or a major one. Honestly, for major one, there's a lot of combinations to be seen, but it can make you lose your blood. It can make you have burns and scars, and especially difficulties with your digestive system, maybe stone issues, maybe a lot of pitta is there, a lot of dryness is there. So something complicated is happening within your health, because of which you'll have to be careful and you'll have to take care of your health simply. This is the lord of the second house also. This is the lord of the ninth house too. This also calls for the moments where you'll have to be courageous. You'll have to find your courage in the deep, complicated situations. And you will find your courage, you will find your um, fighting spirit, your warrior spirit through the conflicts of your life. There can be strong issues that you'll have to deal with your relatives, your extended families, and also, like, most of all, your friends, your extended family, not friends, sorry, the family. Maybe because of a property dispute, property things, related things. And also, there has to be something very transformative that is going to happen within your family, within the dynamics of your family, because of which this aggression, this warriorness has to come out. And you will be required to do a lot of things at one time. So your energy, because of Ketu coming over Mars, your energy is going to spread over different tasks. You'll have to deal with a lot of things at once. Mars in the 12th house being the second and the ninth lord. It makes a person travel. It makes a person have or generate their money from overseas. You'll get opportunities from overseas, companies or managements who are related to foreign lands. Rahu coming over it, major transformation within your finances, within your status. Actually, it is going to go towards growing. It's a fortunate thing. At the same time, it's like you make one major expenditure somewhere, because of which you get lucky on getting increment somewhere else. Something like this would happen. But be very careful of your health. Your health can be compromised because of your overly ambitious nature, overly occupied nature. Right? And again, this could even give you affairs, bed pleasures at a distance. And this is more related to lust, related to just satisfying one's need. Right? Next, we have Mercury. So if Mercury is in the 6th house, being the lord of your 4th and your 7th house, and then Ketu comes over it, this is definitely a complicated time for your marriage. This is like a time where your marriage suffers because of your lack of communication, lack of expression. I've seen this many times. Mercury Ketu conjunction, especially happening in the 7th house or happening in Navamsha, is a tricky placement for marriages. It's a very tricky placement for marriages. It's very important for you to communicate. And that's what is going to be the hardest thing for you to do. But definitely, it makes you learn and research about knowledge, technical knowledge, technologies. It detaches you from your maternal aunts, cousins. Something happens in life because of which there's a detachment that is arised. And this is the time which is going to turn you into a serious individual. You're no longer going to be indecisive. In the beginning of this Ketu coming over Mercury, you're going to be hell indecisive. But once this Ketu stabilizes in that placement, it is going to start improving your decision making, and ultimately it is going to give you the wisdom to make fine decisions. Now, if this Mercury is in the 12th house, being the 7th and the 4th lord, maybe you're shifting to a distant land, or maybe your partner is traveling for work. at a distance. But definitely, this is a timeline where marriage, partnership, or relationships are creating stress over your mind. You have started overthinking on the minute things as well. You have started overthinking and over analyzing everything. You're being overly technical with your communications, with your thinking. There is stress, and because of stress, there will be anxiety, panic attacks. And because of that, you will have to go to the hospital. This is a loop. This is the whole loop that Ketu and Rahu makes you go through. When it's Mercury in the 12th house and Rahu coming over it, it is going to make you understand your psychology. Rather, it tells you that how much you need to go within. You should not go go within more than what is required. That's what it tells. It can separate you from the spouse or from the relationship, and even from the mother. Maybe you are traveling, maybe they are traveling somewhere else. But at the same time, it will make you come closer to them, then make you go away, then come closer, then go away. Something like this would happen. Right? Now, next we have Saturn. So if Saturn is in your 6th house, there's a lot of karma you are going to deal with while Ketu is coming over the Saturn. The Saturn is the lord of the 11th and the 12th house. You might gain from the worst situations and worst conflicts, but your attitude is going to make you land into obstacles. You might even experience a cut and like a gap in your career for some time because of this. See, Saturn in the sign of Leo is not a healthy placement to have, because Saturn in the sign of Leo makes you take very stupid decisions, very uncalculative decisions just out of aggression, some stubborn decisions that you take out of aggression. So, Ketu coming over it, it is going to give you the karma for that. It is going to give you the wisdom for that. That how can you do so? How can you be non-compromising? So, first and foremost thing that it would require you to be service-oriented, be compromising. All your past karmas, all your past actions, all bad actions that you have done, now you're going to face the karma for them. So, of course, it's a time full of obstacles. It can even land you into legal obstacles, legal disputes. But at the same time, so as to fulfill your desires, this is the time when you're going to work hard to fulfill your desires, and also to make the ends meet. You have to keep a check on your expenditure. You have to keep a check on your interactions with the social circle. And it's your social circle which actually is going to make you go into that zone first, at the first place. Okay. Now, if Saturn is in the 12th house and Rahu comes over it, Saturn is the lord of the 11th and the 12th house. Your recognition lies overseas, away from here. Whatever you do, whatever you plan to do it in secrecy. When Rahu comes over Saturn, it gives you massive opportunities, but at the same time, it makes you come in the eyes of others. So the nazar gets real for you. And of course, it's hell of a burden you're going to experience with this Rahu coming over your Saturn. You're going to become a total rebel. You're going to act very opposite to your actual nature during this time. You're going to start distancing yourself. And this could make you go overseas or go at a distant land for your work, or if you're studying, this is a time which is going to be difficult for you to concentrate. It is going to give you sleepless nights. You're all the time thinking something, doing something, learning, isolating yourself, but at the same time, you want to go out, but things are not matching, things are not gelling in. So there's a lot of cluster that is going into the 12th house. This is the time which is going to be the hardest for you to align spiritually. But if you try, if you keep on trying, trust me, you will be able to actually get to the other side of this realm. You'll be able to have even the Kundalini awakening. This time is all about research. Time is all about you to understand what is this life about, what is death and rebirth about, and work in secrecy and privacy. Next, we have Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu, if suppose they are in the same axis, Rahu is in the 12th house and Ketu is in the 6th house, and Rahu comes over the Rahu, Ketu comes over the Ketu. Whatsoever I've talked about till the time I started talking about Sun, Rahu coming over Sun or Ketu coming over Sun, everything is going to happen for you prominently in these 18 months. You're going to deal with addiction issues. You're going to deal with clinics, hospitals. You're going to deal with problems within the relatives and, your workspace, trying to manage everything, trying to go into research, presenting out your work, trying to get done with your education and everything, traveling, filing visas, filing documentations, bank loans, and everything like that, settling your debts, everything. So all of this you're going to deal like it happens into 100. Okay, like if this is reversed, if you have Ketu in the sign of Aquarius and Rahu comes over it, that means this is your time to align with your spiritual self and also with your scientific self, with your subconscious mind. This is the time when you will go and dig deeper into your scientific self, into your interests, into the outer realm. If Rahu is in the 6th house, Ketu comes over it, you will definitely be given the wisdom related to your ego, related to your massive ego, and you feeling that I am the greatest of all, or your attention seeking behavior. You're going to be cut, you're going to be criticized on that, you're going to be over evaluated for that. This loop is basically going to activate your hidden conflicts and make you deal with it so as to just get done with it. Right? So on and all, this is definitely a karmic time, and it activates this axis, and this axis, everything related to this axis is that you are going to face. Okay, guys? So this was my analysis about Pisces ascendant and moon sign. Again, I would address, I think I've not told this in the beginning, but watch for Rahu and Ketu video first from the moon chart and then from the ascendant. Okay, so we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.